Let's get right into it. Neck lacing. This form of punishment was reserved for traitors of a coalition group against the South African government. The group had to remain discreet as the government cracked down against these freedom fighters with haste. The conspirators were attempting to expose information about the coalition to aid the government's oppression. For this, the coalition had to make an example out of any whistleblowers that had been discovered. They did this by giving their victim a large rubber tire that would be forced around their arms and chest. After being dripped out with a new accessory, they dripped something else onto them. Gasoline. The tire would then be lit on fire as the victim remains fully restrained, hopelessly struggling. They will be left until motionless from either the flames or inhalation of the toxic fumes. Neck lacing is actually a popular form of punishment as it is also used by drug dealers in Brazil. Instead of a single tire, it was a stack of tires, and instead of neck lacing, it was microwaving. I just hope they don't forget to take them out before it gets too hot. Mazella. Whenever the gallows weren't enough and punishment had to be dealt, Mazella was used. This punishment was reserved for individuals who have committed especially loathsome acts of crime. The punishment involved a bludgeoning hammer or mallet that could be used to incapacitate. The victim would be brought to a scaffold in the town square where all could witness the execution. The executioner would then swing a mace around before smashing it into the skull of the victim. After so, they typically fell unconscious rather than immediately dying. If not, more swings ensued. Once they were unconscious, the fun was basically over, so they finished by slitting their throat. It was said that the execution required very little skill as pretty much anyone can bash a person's skull in. So yes, even you can become a certified executioner if you wish to wield the power of life and death between your fingertips. Disembowelment. Animals usually have their insides turned out when they become food for us or other predators. This is unsurprisingly the only way we can harvest their meat and gain nutrients from their corpse. This is, of course, done only after the animal is recognized as deceased. However, humans are a bit more cruel than that and decided on a more proper punishment. Watching someone else's guts spill out is already grotesque and mentally scarring enough, so to make it worse, they just needed a change of perspective. Your perspective. Victims were tied to a post and made sure to be fully conscious before beginning. A line would then be drawn from the bottom of the rib cage to the base of the pelvis. A sharp blade was then used to carefully dissect the victim without severely damaging any organs. They didn't want you to miss out on the show after all. Once the cut had been made, organs will spill out as the victim watched in terrifying agony. After this, they just let them be. Severe blood loss would occur and the victim would eventually black out. Up until that point, they got to experience what only talented exhibitionists call a full show. Urement. If you've ever been sent to your room as punishment, this takes it to a whole other level. Many acts against justice can warrant this capital punishment. One such perpetrator was found guilty of murdering at least 36 innocent women for his own pleasure. For this, he had been sentenced to immurement where he would meet his final fate. Immurement is the act of being enclosed into a small space without exits until death. The murderer of these women had been subjected to this very punishment. However, this is not before they decided to give him a little parting gift before being enclosed eternally. This gift was about 20 to 30 lashes to the back given every day until his eventual entombment. After giving him a lesson he will surely remember, he was walled into a standing cement coffin. He remained there for 2 days where it is reported that screaming and pleas for help were heard. These cries eventually stopped around the 3rd day when it is believed he could have died from dehydration. There's no way of telling for sure because the whole wall gimmick, but we know it wasn't peaceful. Lingqi. The name of this punishment translates to slow slicing or death by 1,000 cuts. Lingqi was used in China from around 900 AD to the early 1900s. The execution would consist of removing body parts by making a series of minor cuts. While making these cuts, it was important for the torturer to delay the death for as long as possible. Limbs were usually cut off first, while more vital organs like the heart were saved for last. As if this wasn't painful enough, the execution was usually performed publicly to further humiliate the victim. Getting slowly killed is embarrassing enough, but performing it in front of a crowd? Now that's torture. The entire process was meant to serve as a stark warning for those thinking of committing crimes. However, while some took this warning to heart, others preferred performing for the roaring crowds. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Stay cool and peace out.